Okay, the next part of our show today is another guest of honor whose schedule unfortunately did not permit him from attending in person. It was a last-minute change, and therefore we will be hearing from France's Minister of Economy and Finance, Bruno Le Maire, right now in a short video address.
Dear Augustin de Romanet, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could be here with you today to introduce our recovery strategy and praise the quick and historic reaction of France and Europe in the crisis. I will do so, but first, let me go back in time. Back in January, only 9 months ago, what did the French economy look like? It looked great. Unemployment was decreasing. Growth was stronger than in Germany or Italy. Investors and industrial companies were massively investing in France, making our country the most attractive economy for foreign investment in all Europe. The French economy was strong and innovative. Investors and foreign companies were looking at France saying, France has changed. France has changed for the better. Why such a success? First of all, because our economic policy was efficient. We have been implementing the right reforms at the right time for the last 3 years. We have decreased corporate and capital tax rates. We have reformed the labor market. We have made innovation and growth easier than ever before, especially for SMEs. These reforms have given strong results. We will not change our economic policy because of the crisis. I know some people fear that we might shift our economic strategy. We won't. We won't increase taxes. We won't go back on reforms that have created jobs and prosperity for our country. And Brexit gives us all the more reasons not to change our determination on taxes and reforms. Let me now turn to our recovery plan. We are now entering the third phase of our economic response to the coronavirus crisis. The first phase was all about protection. The second was about carefully reopening the economy. The third is about building it back again. The recovery plan seeks to strike the right balance between managing the epidemic, protecting jobs, and preparing the economy for the decade to come. The plan will be instrumental in making the economy greener, more digital, more competitive. It will make sure the French industry remains on the cutting edge. To this end, the recovery plan is built on 3 pillars. The first pillar is competitiveness. 34 billion euros will be dedicated to boosting France's competitiveness. This includes substantial cuts in production taxes, support for equity capital funding for businesses, investment in industrial innovation and industrial sovereignty. The second pillar is employment. 36 billion euros will be invested to protect and create jobs. We will invest in skills and safeguard employment by helping people find a job through apprenticeship, vocational training, and recruitment incentives. Young people will be at the core of our policy. The third pillar is making the economy greener. 30 billion euros will be earmarked to speed up the greening of the economy. We will invest to make buildings more energy efficient. We will help industries become less carbon intensive. We will finance the development of new green technologies such as hydrogen. Thus, this plan is a new step in our economic strategy. The historic resilience and recovery plan launched by the EU, thanks to the decisive consensus between President Macron and Chancellor Merkel, will fund 38 billion of this plan. I will make sure this plan delivers quickly, even if some restrictive measures are still necessary in large cities. Apprenticeship programs are already available. Hiring young people is already being funded. Support to make buildings more energy efficient will start flowing in the following weeks. 10 billion euros will be invested at the end of the year, and 20 billion euros will be invested next year in addition to tax cuts of 10 billion euros on production taxes. When we think about the next week and month, we must bear in mind that our recovery has started and it would be dangerous to break it. We have to move on. We have to keep the right step to improve the economic situation in France. We must learn to live with the virus, but live without fear, bearing in mind that it is time to foster the economic recovery in France and in all European countries. I wish you a great conference.
Next up, we have what's called a fireside chat, a shorter format